Leo, July 2026 becomes one of the most important months of the entire year for you. This is a period of closing one chapter of your life and preparing for an entirely new phase that will unfold over the coming months and even years. Not every year brings a transition of this magnitude. Jupiter is already moving through your sign, beginning a brand new 12-year cycle of growth, opportunity, expansion, confidence, and personal development. But before life begins opening new doors, certain unfinished chapters from the past need to be completed. Mercury Retrograde is moving through Cancer and your 12th house. Because of this, many of the most important developments of July are happening internally rather than externally. Old thoughts return. Unfinished situations resurface. Past plans, unresolved questions, and lingering uncertainties come back into focus. Some decisions will require patience. Some answers will arrive gradually. July helps you hear yourself more clearly and understand where you truly want to go next. The first half of the month is connected to completing an old cycle. The second half begins opening a new one. After July 22, the energy shifts dramatically. But first, life asks you to create space for what is coming next. July begins with a need to take a closer look at your inner responses and the situations that still require closure. July 2. Venus forms an aspect to Black Moon Lilith, while Mars interacts with the lunar nodes. Old emotional stories may resurface. Unfinished relationships, unresolved feelings, or memories from the past may unexpectedly return to your awareness. Certain conversations or encounters can help bring true closure to chapters that have remained open for far too long. Pay attention to repeating themes, synchronicities, and familiar situations. The universe may be highlighting something important. Within just a few days, the pace of the month begins accelerating significantly. July 4. Mars forms a conjunction with Uranus. For Leo, this powerful transit activates the 11th house of friendships, communities, social networks, audiences, collaborations, and future goals. Unexpected developments involving friends, groups, organizations, online projects, or long-term plans may suddenly emerge. New people may enter your life, unusual opportunities may appear, ideas capable of changing the direction of your future can arrive out of nowhere. Some plans may shift literally overnight. Transits like this often open doors that could never have been accessed through conventional methods. July 5. After the surprises of previous days, you now have an opportunity to use changing circumstances to your advantage. Mars forms a harmonious aspect to Pluto. This transit can help strengthen your position within a group, or move a significant long-term goal closer to reality. Strategic decisions are especially favored now. Projects with long-term potential benefit from focused effort and careful planning. This is an excellent day to identify your priorities and gain clarity about the road ahead. July 6. The Sun forms a challenging aspect to Saturn. You may feel that circumstances require greater responsibility, discipline, and maturity. Some plans may need adjustments. Progress may feel slower than you'd prefer. However, this aspect helps reveal reality more clearly and strengthens the foundation beneath future decisions. Sometimes limitations provide greater long-term benefits than quick victories. Patience is one of your greatest assets now. July 7. Neptune begins its retrograde journey. For Leo, this marks the beginning of a period of reevaluating your philosophy of life, beliefs, future plans, and overall sense of purpose. Some goals may no longer feel as meaningful as they once did. Others begin gaining greater significance. Gradually, it becomes easier to distinguish between what genuinely inspires you and what may have been more fantasy than reality. Over the coming months, you'll gain a completely new perspective on your future. July 9. Venus enters Virgo. Your second house becomes activated. Money, income, resources, purchases, financial planning, and self-worth move into focus. You may feel motivated to build a stronger financial foundation and become more intentional about what creates stability in your life. Many Leos begin taking earnings, budgeting, investments, or long-term financial planning more seriously. This is an excellent time to organize and improve this area of life. July 11. Venus aligns with the South Node. Certain themes from the past may reappear. This may involve old financial matters, former sources of income, or people with whom you once shared financial responsibilities. Sometimes this aspect brings back opportunities that were previously missed. Pay close attention to what the past is offering now. Not everything should be revived, but some opportunities deserve a second look. July 13th, the Sun joins retrograde Mercury in your 12th house. This marks the midpoint of the Mercury retrograde cycle and brings an opportunity to see what has been hidden beneath the surface. Important realizations may arrive now. You may gain a deeper understanding of your true motivations, your emotional needs, and the direction you genuinely want to pursue moving forward. Some insights have the power to completely change the way you view your future plans. On the same day, Venus forms a harmonious aspect to Uranus. Unexpected news related to finances, work, professional opportunities, or future growth may arrive. A surprising development could open possibilities that previously seemed out of reach. July 14th, a new moon in Cancer takes place in your 12th house. This is a new moon of completion, healing, and inner renewal. It begins a new cycle connected to releasing the past, restoring your energy, and preparing for an entirely new chapter of life. Right now, the goal is not necessarily action. The goal is clarity. The goal is understanding where your soul wants to go next. Over the coming months, many important developments may unfold quietly behind the scenes. Others may not immediately see what is changing. Yet these invisible processes will become the foundation for major future breakthroughs. Your intuition becomes one of your greatest guides now. Sometimes the most important decisions are born during periods of silence, rather than periods of activity. July 18th, Uranus forms a harmonious aspect to Pluto. This is one of the most significant transits of the month because it helps reveal which changes are truly capable of shaping your future. Themes involving friendships, communities, alliances, partnerships, networking, and long-term goals become especially important. Certain people may begin playing a far greater role in your future than initially expected. New connections could introduce opportunities, perspectives, or resources that open an entirely different level of growth. At the same time, your understanding of who belongs in your future begins evolving. You become more aware of which relationships genuinely support your vision and which ones no longer align with where you're headed. This transit helps reveal which alliances have the potential to become part of your next chapter. July 19th, Mars forms an aspect to Saturn. This is a time to combine initiative with discipline. The practicality and durability of your plans become much easier to evaluate. Education, professional development, long-term projects, career advancement, and future goals become increasingly important. Avoid looking for immediate results. The greatest progress comes through consistency, responsibility, and a willingness to move forward, one step at a time. This transit helps reveal which plans have a strong foundation and which ones still require refinement. July 20th, Jupiter forms a challenging aspect to Pluto, while simultaneously creating a harmonious aspect to Neptune. Jupiter is moving through your sign and beginning an entirely new cycle of personal growth and expansion. You may feel inspired to step into a larger version of yourself, pursue bigger goals, expand your opportunities, and express your gifts more confidently. However, this transit also highlights the importance of partnership and collaboration. Relationships may undergo important tests. Questions involving influence, responsibility, leadership, boundaries, and shared commitments may become more prominent. Existing agreements may need to be reevaluated. At the same time, Neptune helps you see the bigger picture. You gain greater awareness of where you truly want your life to go. This is a transit of tremendous opportunity, but it requires maturity, self-awareness, and a willingness to consider not only your own interests, but the needs and perspectives of others as well. July 22. The Sun enters Leo. Your personal season begins. This marks one of the most important periods of the entire year for you. After several weeks of preparation, reflection, and inner work, your energy begins returning in a noticeable way. Your first house becomes activated. The focus shifts directly onto you. Your goals, your desires, your initiatives, your plans, your decisions. These themes now become the center of attention. You may feel a renewed sense of confidence, vitality, and motivation. Many Leos will sense that they are stepping into an entirely new chapter of life. Events begin accelerating. What has been happening internally now starts becoming visible in the external world. Perhaps most importantly, the Sun enters your sign while Jupiter is already there, initiating a brand new 12-year cycle of opportunities, growth, expansion, and personal development. This is the beginning of something significant. July 23. Mercury stations direct in Cancer. Questions that have been developing since late June begin to clear. Many Leos receive answers they have been waiting for over the past several weeks. The uncertainty begins to fade. Decision-making becomes easier. Future plans start making more sense. Situations that felt confusing finally reach a logical conclusion. A stronger sense of inner clarity emerges. You begin understanding where you're headed and why. What once seemed complicated starts fitting together into a coherent picture. July 27. The Sun forms an opposition to Pluto while simultaneously creating a harmonious aspect to Neptune. This is one of the most important days of the month for gaining perspective. Themes involving relationships, partnerships, cooperation, negotiations, and the balance between your needs and the needs of others move into focus. Important conversations may reveal a completely different side of the situation. You may gain clarity about which relationships support your growth and which ones may be reaching their natural conclusion. Sometimes aspects like this reveal the true balance of power within a partnership. They show who is genuinely aligned with your future and who may no longer belong on the same path. On the same day, Saturn begins its retrograde journey in Aries. For Leo, this initiates an important period of reevaluating your philosophy of life, long-term vision, beliefs, educational goals, and future direction. Over the coming months, you may begin viewing higher education, professional development, teaching, publishing, international opportunities, travel, and personal growth from an entirely new perspective. Saturn helps separate temporary interests from lasting priorities. Gradually, it becomes easier to build a stronger and more realistic strategy for the future. The full moon in Aquarius takes place in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. This full moon brings results and revelations connected to developments that have been unfolding over recent months. Important decisions may be made in romantic relationships, business partnerships, collaborations, contracts, or legal matters. Some relationships move to the next level, others reveal their true condition. This full moon helps you see reality clearly and understand who you can genuinely rely upon moving forward. And on the very same day, one of the most powerful aspects of the month takes place. The Sun forms a conjunction with Jupiter in your sign. This is a magnificent aspect of growth, confidence, expansion, visibility, opportunity, and personal development. A new chapter is truly beginning now. Your belief in yourself becomes stronger, your energy increases, your optimism returns, your desire to move forward grows significantly. You begin seeing your strengths more clearly, you become more aware of your potential, and you gain a deeper understanding of your place within the future you're creating. This is one of those rare aspects that can become the starting point of major life changes. Leo, July becomes a month of closing an old cycle and giving birth to a new version of yourself. The first half of the month helps you release what no longer belongs in your future. It allows you to reconnect with yourself, understand your desires, and prepare for what comes next. The second half gradually brings you back into the spotlight. After July 22nd, a period of personal renewal, growth, visibility, and self-expression begins. Jupiter in your sign opens a brand new 12-year cycle of opportunity. But July offers an important reminder. Before moving forward, you must be willing to leave behind what has already fulfilled its purpose. And the more honest you are with yourself now, the more confidently you'll be able to embrace the opportunities that are already beginning to unfold. Have a wonderful July, dear Leo.